What's up, guys? It's Henrik Dow, aka VFX Bro, and I hope you guys enjoyed those three sky replacement / map painting videos. Now, I'm going to say that the third one was only sky replacement plus a map painting because with me in it, I wanted to do a little city look. I wanted to change up my city, but I'm going to try to go through this fast because the tutorial is going to be about 10 to 20 minutes long because we're going to be editing all three of those clips. All three of them, so you can see the change in how everything looks, okay? So basically this is a little different from my channel because I'm usually doing superpowers and all of that, but I want to change it up and teach you guys how to do that, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. I'll explain a little bit more stuff later. You'll see me back on camera later, but let's just go ahead and jump right into After Effects, and yeah, let's do that. So see you in After Effects.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the After Effects part of this tutorial. Now, this will be probably more than 20 minutes long, so hold on to your seats because we're about to get into a lot of information. First of all, if you're wondering where I got these textures from, well, I won't tell you yet because I'm so excited to get into this tutorial. I'd rather explain how to do everything before getting into telling you where I got the textures from, and then we'll go back into my Firefox and I'll show you everything about this texture stuff, alright? So, what we're going to do is, there is one clip I found amazing that tracked so incredibly well, which was this GoPro 742. This was the clip I tracked. This one tracked so amazing that it just worked perfectly. Now, I did eventually freeze frame it because the track, although worked perfectly, I couldn't get the clouds to match the track, okay? So we'll figure all that out in a sec. But this is the one we will start out with. This is the one where I'll get into deep information of how to color correct properly and how to not roto out most of the buildings and all that stuff. I won't get into tracking this one because the track took forever and I don't want to spend time on that. I will eventually have a separate tracking tutorial on 3D tracking this for 2D objects, and all of that. So let's go ahead and drag this GoPro footage into that comp. Okay. And so we have this here. And what I'm going to do is go to Layer Time Freeze Frame. I'm going to freeze frame this, okay? Just for that perspective. And we're going to go ahead and title this Main, and we're going to duplicate this. And we're actually going to title this one on Sky Matte. Now, I'll explain why we did this in a second, but just follow along with me. So we're going to change that color so we have different colored layers. Now, what we're going to do is go find our textures right here, which I would like to use the dark clouds I have right here, and we're going to go ahead and drag the texture above everything first. And let's also go back into full, beyond fast draft. I'm going to go into like third resolution so that it can render out faster. Now actually what we want to do is basically find the part where we want dark, okay? So we want the sky to be, you know, that dark color, and we can make it darker. But what you want to do basically is drag it, customize the scaling of it, and then scale it all the way out. And this is very important, especially when you're tracking. You want your cloud layer to be scaled out as far as possible so that you have everything, and then you can reposition it to your liking, basically. So we'll have it like that. And what we're going to do is actually drag and drop it in between the sky matte and the main. Okay? Then you're going to go here, I'm going to zoom up. You see this toggle switches and modes, click on that, and you're going to go to your texture comp, which we're also going to change to that same blue color, so both the layers are the same. And we're going to go to this, it says TRK matte, which is track matte. And we're going to go to Luma matte, and it shows sky matte. That's what we want. Okay. So it is not perfect right now. Why? Because the scale is still a little bit, is now bigger than what we want. So what we're going to do is just reposition this all. Okay? And this is what we want the clouds to look like. All that is pretty cool and stuff like that. We can resize it back to how it was, you know, just stretch it out like that, make it all cool looking. But the fact is the buildings are still in the way. Now, a good way to do this is just go ahead and mask out the building. So what you want to do is mask it out of where you don't want the cloud layers to be. So I don't want it to be here, anywhere near here. I don't want it to be a little over the buildings. You can zoom up, but I know how to where I want the mask to be, basically. So there's also the area of this building I don't want it to be in, and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and take that out like so. And we'll have this. Now you're going to want to fix that mask, the horrible mask I just did, so it's not touching that building either. And also fix it right here. Actually, keep it over the building. So we have this, and you're wondering, okay, what the heck? Why is it like that? Well, click on mask first of all, and then go to subtract, not intercept, subtract. So now we have this. It's a perfectly well thought out layer, and the sky clouds are behind it. Now it looks very rough. You can see all of that when I zoom in. You can see how rough it is. So what we're going to do is go to this mask feather here, and we're going to type in like 150 as our start out. So now you see, as I zoom up here like that, that is very feathered out, and it looks very great. Now what we're going to do is go into our effects and presets and type in curves, so we can get it a little tone. But actually what I'm going to do is use Film Riot's color pack and type in day for night. Now if you have this, perfect. If you don't, just use a simple curves or something like that. The day for night effect looks very cool, and what we're going to do is click day for night as well for the buildings, so we can match that in. Okay, so now this is what it looks like without the layer, and then with. It gives you a lot more distance, and you see that the part of the building that I was filming stays the same, and there's no change to that. So the clouds are in the back layer, and it looks perfect. Now you can get even more 3D depth by duplicating this and positioning it in different places, but you can see here that it is the perfect place to make a sky layer. And you can see here that this little mask is making a shadow, so the darker clouds. So if you want to fix that, like for example, you can see dark clouds are rising right here, so maybe you want to bring that out a little bit more and put that shadow in. Now of course you don't want the edges of that going out, but you can see that you can edit it and make it look like that. And if you want it to come down off the building just a little bit, you can do that too. Give it a little more realistic effect, more shadows coming off. You can see how well this turns out. And of course there's more stuff you can do, but you can see how simple that is with the no track matte. That's what it would look like. But then, and masking does help, but then the Luma matte just helps even more to make it realistic and to make sky replacement look better. Now of course this mask can also go onto the main comp as well, in which you can turn it to add mode, and you can actually duplicate this and take the mask off this one and put this one above everything, to the point where it's masking out all those buildings. So you can do that. That is both different ways, but the best suggestion is just to make a mask on the texture itself, so that you can mask it out on off the buildings and stuff like that, and it doesn't show any of the edges. Alright? So it's probably already been 10 minutes, so let's go ahead and get into the second one. This is actually the third one, but let's go ahead and get into, that's another one I'm working on, hidden stuff. I do not want to show you guys because that's some other day's episode. Okay, this is the second one. Now this may take a little bit longer, but that's alright. What we're going to do basically is, I'm not going to show you how to track, because you guys are probably at this point already know how to track stuff. You guys are amazing at doing effects, so you guys already know how to track stuff. But basically I'm going to show you a detail. What I did is I took this footage and I did that tracker. I went to this tracker and tracked the motion on that. And I found this little black hole on the air conditioner place, and I'd used that as my preference for tracking. And it eventually actually tracked out very well. Nothing wrong happened, and eventually I didn't like the tracking because although it turned out well, the clouds, again, like I said, didn't match up to its potential. Okay, so what we're going to do is just take both, basically what we're going to do is take both of these clips, and we're just going to, look at that. We're going to actually take off all these mats, okay? And we're just gonna delete them. Now we're using the same sky texture, just note that. We're using the same exact sky texture. We're gonna delete that. Now we're gonna turn off the rain and the lightning. And this is what the original footage looks like. And what I'm gonna do is go to this and turn off all the effects. So this is the actual picture filmed during the day. Make sure that's all off, okay? And so we're gonna go back to our project and see the dark clouds, bring it in there. Again, what we're going to do is zoom out. Now, I know I did say I was going to show you how to track, but let's just say today is Saturday, so let's say it's Monday, June 27th, I will show you how to track footage like this, okay? Just because I feel bad, but I also want to get to the main point of this whole tutorial. Okay, so this is perfect. Let's go ahead and customize some of it. So let's hit Command D and turn this layer off, and we're going to go over here. And we're going to take this dark cloud because we want it to be more storm clouds, basically. Excuse me for my raspy voice. Okay, now we're going to turn this one off and turn this one on. So you see this preference right here. Let's go ahead and take this portion of the clouds. Okay. Let's turn both of these layers on, and we're going to go ahead and duplicate that again and take the mask off that. Actually, no, we're not. Press Command Z. Take the mask on here, move it around, maybe size it down, rotate it to make it different, position it all the way over here, and we'll get into all the feathering and stuff, and then take the darker one, size it down, rotate this one especially to make it look like it's coming from here, rotate it 90 and 91 degrees, move it over here, take this cloud layer again, and just move it into here, size it like that, but as well as scaling it. Okay, this is perfect. Now it looks very crappy, so what we're going to do is hit feather. We're going to solo this one first of all, and feather it out by 20. We get that, and then we're going to solo the second one so we can see what we're dealing with here. So we can see how much we need to feather. Let's go to 10 first. Okay, you can see lots of edges. So let's hit 20. And then what we're going to do is edit this by bringing up this texture so it overlaps this one. We're going to solo the third one, and we're going to feather out again by 20. So this one's already overlapping, which is good. Feather this one by 20, solo that one on. Okay, and drag it under this texture so that it is not being overlapped, and then solo this one again, the last one. And this should be feathered out by 30. This should be the most feathered out. Now what we're going to do is drag and drop this underneath most of them, so it shows it like that. Okay, so the dark areas, there's light areas, that's all okay. Now what we can do is then take all of these and press Command-Shift-C, move them, and then go into a tint to make it most of the same color. Now we can change up the color a little bit later, but keep this as a tint. We'll make this black. Hopefully. Nope, okay, sorry. We make this white, and we forgot about this texture right here. So let's go ahead and hit Command on that, Command-Shift-C again, pre-compose that, do another tint. So it's all tinted now. So let's unsolo it. So this is what it looks like. Not perfect right now. So let's go ahead and duplicate that footage, and we'll title this Track Matte. We're going to go ahead and drag it up here. Now the reason why I'm doing a second one with the cloud layer is because this time we're going to show you how to do lightning and rain with this. Okay, so it's the same basic concept as the first one. You go to your pre-comp, which is, we're going to actually retitle this to Sky, and we're going to go to that Track Matte and do the Luma Matte, Track Matte. And again, this won't be the greatest, but of course, like I said, we can hit that sky layer And let's make the clouds go a little over the buildings to make it look like it's stormy now, but not as much over the buildings as you want it to be. So you can do that, and this time we'll actually not have to do subtract. We can just overlap it up on the ceiling of this composition. So it looks very bad right now. So what we're going to do is feather this out by at least 50. So we get this look. Now it's still a little bit bad, so we're going to do 100. And we're going to see this mask and bring it down. Okay. Okay, so this is perfect right now. There is a little bit of darkness in there. So we can actually go ahead and, fix that later. But you can see that there's different things, especially when adding the lightning and rain on this. There'll be different points. Now the lightning will have to redo with the rain. It's fine, but you see that we have this. Okay, so what we're going to do is go ahead and turn all these color correction backs on. Now what this is the day for night color correction. I use the same thing to make it look like that. We're going to go ahead and go and copy that, and we're going to put this on the sky. And we're going to bring this above that tint. And then we're going to delete that tint. So now it's the perfect sky color. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to delete the snow because I want to keep this, but let's go ahead and click on that rain. I'll show you how to create it. Okay. Rain is perfect. Let's go back into the full size. Now let me delete that rain. So go into your effects and presets and type in CC rainfall. Now, if you rather prefer going to the effect, go all the way down and go into simulation, and then see CC rainfall. Now, of course, if you're doing snow, you can do all that stuff, but what we're going to be doing today is the CC rainfall. Now, you can also do this using Red Giant's, Red Giant effects that they have, but this is a built-in plugin and it's very simple to make. Okay, so basically what you want to do is you want to edit the variation, which is the wind and the speed. You want to edit these three things to make it just a little bit better. So let's go ahead and do this. The variation, we're going to change it to 20. And we're going to go all the way to the end of this, basically. And we're going to change the speed to 10,000. We're going to make it huge. Alright? And then when the wind, we're going to change it to, let's knock ourselves out and do 30. So it just makes it so stormy-like. The size, we're going to up it to 3.52. Okay. And then the color, of course, you can change and stuff like that, but you don't have to. Make sure you have that checked, or else it'll look like that, composite unoriginal. And basically what we're going to do is keep the drops in the scene depth, the whole, everything the same. And then we're going to do our lightning, okay? So basically go into layer, new, adjustment layer. And what you're going to do is, first of all, solo this one as well as these two. So you have your sky effect. So you see this. And let's, for example, use this as our main preference of the lightning, as it's the darker cloud. And then we're going to make splotches here and there of smaller mask. So the mask are so that we can change the lightning speed and, make it a little bit cooler. So what we're going to do is hit F on the keyboard for feathering. And we're going to feather these out by, let's go ahead and do 25 for, let's go actually do 30 for the first one and then 25 for the N2. Of course, you can change that up by yourself. And what we're going to do now is unsolo all of these. Change this to lightning. Okay. And what we're going to do is, all we have to do is go into effects and presets and type in curves and just up the brightness on these masks, which makes it just a whole lot, brighter for that lightning effect. And then we're going to type in a brightness and contrast and edit the brightness by making it go up to 40 and the contrast to negative 15. So the feathering is extremely bad. This is why you always have a reference of feathering, but then you have to change it. So for this one, let's go ahead and do up to 70, and then we'll see before moving on to the next ones. Okay, so that's blended in nicely. Let's go ahead and do 60 for this one. Let's see if this works out. Okay, that works out. 60 for this one. Nope. So let's go to 80. Bump that way up. Let's actually bump this one up to 80 as well. Okay, so this is how you're going to do it. Hit T on the keyboard and keep that opacity up. But I forgot to move all the way back. Whoops. Ooh. I think I've been on the back the whole time. Yep. Anyways, let's go to opacity. See that? Then what you're going to do is tune it down to 30. Then let's say go back up to 90. Let's go even further, go back down to 10. Then let's go even further, go back up to 100. Okay? Let's move this just over there. Then what you're going to do is highlight all those keyframes. And we're going to move over to the 44. Press Command V. Opacity. That should work. Whoops. Command C, Command V. Okay, and let's go ahead and change this up a bit. So this, we have to go to this one to see. Let's go ahead and tune that down to 20. So let's just rearrange it just a little bit. Command V right there. Move this all the way over here. Maybe right here. Delete a couple of these. Then let's go to the very end and hit Command V again. So the lightning is very generic. It will move every time to brighten it up, and of course adding sound effects. So that is how you do this one. Okay, I mean you can see I can't breathe, right? Okay, the third one will be more of an explanation. So you already know how to do the track mat. I used this city picture, so I'll just give a breakdown of how I did this. This is the footage. So basically some of the parts I had to mask my body, which will load up in a sec. I had to mask my body out to make it look more realistic, and of course luckily the shadow kept in. But I had to actually mask out my body by using this body mask and putting it over the mat and texture. So this was the same concept. We used that Luma mat to do this, and then if I hit M, I basically took this window right here, used this as mask 1, mask 2 was this part of the window. And of course mask 3 was this one, and actually 4 mask. Mask 4 was this little reflection right here to make the city look like it's actually there. Okay. Then for basically the digital mat, I used the day for night color correction and to match the city look. The city had no day for night. I didn't have to do that. It just matched it perfectly. The glow effect wasn't on purpose, but almost makes it look like the city is so bright that it's glowing off the front of his face. I'm sure that if I got a frontal look of me acting out on this, then it would show that I'm, it's glowing, the light is portraying off this front of the body, basically. So that is how you do this type of matte painting. You just have to, when you have live action, you just have to mask out the person. Suggestion that I would usually have is that you film some random area and you track it and then have your actors on a green screen so that you don't have to do masking, because that would save you probably 2 to 3 hours or 5 hours of rotoing out each individual actor. So green screen or blue screen is the good preference to use when doing a matte painting. But in this short video I decided to go with the rotoring because I only did this small portion of masking. It was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It was about 11, 12 frames, and then this one was just a freeze frame of the rest of it, just to give that inner look. So this is what it looks like, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And before we get going, let's go ahead and open up our browser, because I did say we were going to get into that. So over here I have this textures for 3D, it shouldn't show what it is. Textures for 3D graphic design in Photoshop. So what this is basically is you create a free account, and you can create a premium account which allows you to buy stuff and get more HD quality photos. But basically, this is a texture website where you can enter any keywords and get as much textures as you want for free with these free credits, and you earn them daily, as well as downloading more photos to download, then you get free credits from that. So you can get all these textures and use them into Cinema 4D, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, any animation program that basically that allows you to use PNG, JPEG, you know, all that type of stuff. So that is my preference for the textures for photos, so you can go ahead and check that out down below. And I don't know if I said this in the beginning of the tutorial, but there are 2 sky replacement tutorials on YouTube, and it's by one of my inspirations, which is Filmright, and their sub-channel or sister channel, Filmright's Extras. So go ahead and check that out in the description below. There are 2 of them. They get into very well detail on how to do that stuff. And so I hope you guys enjoy this, and you can see that I'm still waiting for the competition to be, you know, what do you say? I'm waiting for who got 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place. So hopefully I got one of those places. Please root for me, guys. Remember this, my channel is up at 131 subscribers. That all happened in 2 days' time. It was amazing. Help me get to 500 subscribers by end of 2016, because that would just blow my mind, alright? So go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it, and also in the description below is my entry to that competition by Filmorn, and his channel link is also in the description. Go ahead and subscribe to him. He's an amazing visual effects artist, and I don't know where I would get some cool superhero effect ideas if he wasn't there. So go ahead and check out his channel, guys. Enjoy your day, wherever you are. Enjoy your night, okay? And I love you guys, and this tutorial is